Good evening, friends, and welcome to Littleport Christian Spiritualists Society. It is a pleasure to have everybody here, and as always, everyone is welcome both in the now and in the future. For we know that there are many people who can't watch this service live, so they join us later. You're all welcome, no matter what the time of the day, no matter the location. You're all always very, very welcome. And in a moment or two's time, we're going to introduce our medium for this evening, the lovely Linda Ferguson. She is a good friend to our church. She has been to see us on many, many occasions. This is her first time with us online, but from the conversations we've had, she's quite adept at going online to do the work of spirit. So I'm sure you will all give her a great deal of love, support, and welcome to this evening. So without further ado, let us begin by having a few announcements. One of the things that I found that doesn't happen very often in these services is that I go a bit quiet, which for those that know me know that that's a very rare occasion and completely the context of the way I work. In other words, I allow others to have their say before mine. So what I did in the last couple of weeks is that I say my bit before the beginning. It's a very useful device if you're waiting for somebody to come online before the start. But one of the things that Spirit have been highlighting to us all, and certainly to myself this week, is all about fear and power, and how those two very much do intermingle. And people perceive power as being a negative thing. People fear power, just like people fear religion. People fear authority. And that, when it comes to this way of life, is completely unnecessary, unwarranted, and in actual fact, any core basics of any way of life, frankly, because power is something that can be abused. And we, as decent and good people, know that if something is abused, it should be nurtured, given support, given strength, and given love, and guided back into happiness. And so, therefore, we must start to think about things differently, look at things in a different way around. And here she is. And of course, if I were to say to you that someone said to me, I have power over war, then that person would instantly be feared, because why are they talking about war? Why have they got power over it? They must be some warmonger. But what if their power was to stop it, to prevent it, to encourage its lack of usage? We must always remember that when you flip a coin, there's not just two sides. It can land on one side or the other. But as with spiritualism and this way of life, if you flip it, there's a third side. And somewhere in between the left and the right is the middle. And that middle ground is usually something closer to the truth. So do not fear power. Embrace it, make use of it, and use it for what it was meant to. Because as we all know, the most powerful force in the universe is unconditional love. And I don't think there's anybody in the universe that can truly fear that. So thank you all for listening. And now let us bring up on stage, waiting patiently in the wings she is, a lovely, lovely lady, a good friend to this society and to this church, and me personally. Give it up for Linda Ferguson. Hello, darling.
Hi, Nick.
How are you, my love?
I'm very well today, thank you. The sun helps.
Good. Yes, a bit of vitamin D in the system is always good for the soul. Now, I'm very, very taken by that top that you're wearing, dear.
Yes, my lucky Littleport top.
Absolutely. If anyone is eagle-eyed enough to look at the poster, you will notice that it's the Littleport t-shirt. Literally, it was purely spirit interruption and coincidence, but I used the picture that had that top in, so somebody decided to make use of it, didn't you, darling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So why don't you tell everybody what you've been up to these last couple of months?
Well, unfortunately, I did catch the dreaded COVID-19 just the week before lockdown, and then I've been shielding, but taking the time to sit and reconnect personally with my spirit team a lot of the time. When we're working, quite often we forget that side. We're giving, we don't sit, so that was lovely. But then, of course, now the churches and centres have discovered the online services, thank goodness, because everybody missed it. And so I've been doing several of those. And I also run my circles via online as well now. So
Yes.
been keeping busy.
You've been using Zoom for that, haven't you?
Yes, I was using the Zoom, but I do like this this application. Yeah.
It has its uses. It really, really does.
Uses, yeah.
Bless you. Well, thank you for joining us as always. Everyone's sending out their hellos and welcomes to you, my darling. We've got a good evening from Rachel Webster. We've got a good evening from Alan Acton, Sandra Shelley. We've got Tara Rice. So everyone is saying hello, and I know now that she's back. Keep fingers crossed on sound and volume.
Yeah.
Now that she's back, I know someone else wants to say a big hello, so give it up, everybody, for Revlin.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm so pleased to be able to greet you in this way, because while you were all waiting for this to actually start, I was having technical difficulties, as they used to say. In the old days of steam television, you know, they used to have a card that they would put up, or they would have an interlude where they would have a potter making a pot, or some goldfish swimming across. You like that, Reverend Nick? And they used to have a little sign that said, "Normal service will be resumed as soon as possible," because it always broke down. There were always these technical hitches, and that's how I felt myself. I felt I was back in the 1950s. It was a very, very difficult place to be. But I have actually managed to reconnect, as it were, by rubbing two sticks together. It's a string and a tin can. But, you know, the thing is this, that, you know, when we look back on our lives, those of us who've lived a few years, sometimes the memories seem to be really rose-coloured, don't they? And everything looks wonderful. When you see the television programmes about the 1950s, for instance, you know, everybody was sitting there, one mother, one father, two children, always a boy was older than the girl. They were all sitting in their living rooms, sitting around a little television set with a nice little steam radio there, and the table was always set nicely for tea, and everybody was well dressed, and dare I say it, white, and and apparently that was how the world was. But you know, when we broke out of that situation, when the 1960s dawned, we suddenly found ourselves in not just a different kind of lifestyle world, but in a differently coloured world as well, with lots of different coloured people in it. And it was absolutely amazing. It was a wonderful situation actually to have been in. But again, you know, when you look at the old programs from the 1960s, it makes you recoil, because some of them are so racist and sexist and heterosexist, and the depictions of people of colour, the depictions of women, the depictions of gay people particularly, absolutely abysmal. And then, of course, we rush forward into the 1970s and think, oh, yes, women's liberation. And it was all the same thing again. You know, there was Miss World, and people throwing flower bombs at other people, and it all really fizzled out. And in the 1980s, you couldn't tell the boys from the girls anyway, because there was the New Romantics, and then the New Romantics gave way to the 1990s and a harder edge. And then we turned the 21st century and everything was going to be a new age. But of course, you know, our history, our personal histories, really mirror and reflect the history of the world, doesn't it? Because although we think everything's so different, everything is so much the same. And what I like the best is to know that all those that we care about in the world of spirit, people who have been over there for a very long time, you know, our spiritualist pioneers, for instance, who perhaps managed to live through the 50s and 60s and then went, or, you know, 70s, 80s and then went, 90s and then 21st century they went. And all those people that went before them as well have always been there for us and always sent their love and their comfort and their caring. And they must have looked at all these goings on in the world, remembering themselves that they were part of it once, but from their lofty home in the realms of light, must have thought, goodness me, how did I manage to live through that? Why did I even want to? And I think that to relate that, you know, to ourselves, and to think, well, whatever happened to us in the past, whatever's happening now, is all within the remit of spirit and spirituality, and those that we love who look after us and care for us in the world of spirit. And I think that whatever happens, we must hold on to that, that when we look back, those of us who can look a long way back, and even those of us who can look back just a few years perhaps of adulthood, can actually think to ourselves, well, whatever happened before, this is today, and we know that the truth has always stood for all time, and that whatever experiences we've had have all been something that we signed up for when we were in spirit before we came here. And when I go back, for instance, I know a lot of people as well will be inquiring of the people that they signed up with to ask them why they didn't actually explain exactly what was going to happen when we came down here. And, you know, sometimes there needs to be a better explanation, I think, than just, well, you know, you needed the experience. But I think those of us who've experienced so much so far would agree that, yes, we did have to go through that in order to get to where we are today, and to know the absolute truth that there is love and comfort and healing coming to us from the world of spirit. It's always been there, and they've always helped us through. And that is why we're all here today talking, and even why I'm sitting here chatting away to you about what may seem nothing very much. But I welcome the opportunity to link up with you, my friends, and to know that those who love us in the world of spirit, our friends, our relatives, our guides and helpers, will all be around us tonight, because we'll all tune in with Linda. And we know that as the medium for this evening, she'll be bringing forth that evidence that life is continuous, that we are spirit beings in bodies here and now, but we will be going to spirit as spirit and be able to communicate back with our loved ones left here. So on that happy note, I'll leave you to it. And I'll say, God bless you, Linda, and your guides and helpers at the time. And I know that we'll have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for, you know, coming along, because it's an amazing thing, isn't it? That, you know, in the 1950s that I started off with talking about, that we'd have this little box in a room and there was all sorts of people dancing about in it and talking. And you had to be very rich, really, to have something like that. And now, of course, nearly everybody is able to access these moving pictures and depictions of us. And the world of spirit that used to seem so very esoteric and mystifying is now becoming something that is just an obvious thing, that there must be a frequency by which we actually communicate with that world of spirit, just as we're communicating here with people that we can't see, sitting in their own homes. We're in their own living rooms with them while we're not there. So there we are. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. And as always, a great pleasure to welcome you on the screen and see and speak to you. And I absolutely 110% concur with everything you've said, to the extent that I'm not going to add anything tonight. So there we go. I've muted myself. So thank you, Lynn.
Thank you. God bless you, Reverend Nick.
God bless you, my darling. Stay on the line. We will have you back up for the end. So see you soon. Well, now, so moving on. Now, Linda, you have been to one of our services before, so you know what happens, but other people watching might not. So we're now going to have a reading from Reverend Alan Sutton, who is sitting downstairs waiting very patiently for us. So I will now bring him up. Good evening, Alan. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm very good. Hope you all are too. Reverend Lynn, thanks very much for those lovely words as usual. Well chosen. Tonight's reading is a rather short one, but it is, for me, rather poignant. It's called The Difference, and the author is unknown. I got up early one morning and rushed right into the day. I had so much to accomplish that I didn't have time to pray. Problems just tumbled about me, and heavier came each task. Why doesn't God help me? I wondered. He said, but you didn't ask. I wanted to see joy and beauty, but the day toiled on, grey and bleak. I wondered why God didn't show me. He said, but you didn't seek. I tried to come into God's presence. I used all my keys to the lock. God gently and lovingly chided, my child, you didn't knock. I woke up early this morning and paused before entering the day. I had so much to accomplish that I had to take time to pray. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. And as always, so very apt. And we are always grateful. And hello down the back there, Penny. How are you?
All right.
Good. We're going to be seeing you later on, I know, but it would be inappropriate of me not to see you and not say hello. I would get in great trouble, and I do try to avoid great trouble. Especially when I call you by the wrong name, just because I know more than one Alan. Hence why I frequently stick to just calling you Reverend Victor. So thank you guys very much, and thank you, Alan, as always. Ties in beautifully, ties in very well, and may all of our prayers be answered, so long as we actually make them.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. We will see you again soon, and until later on, God bless you guys. Thank you. Wonderful. I always look forward to one of Alan's readings. I've just got to acknowledge some things in the message stream for a second. I will acknowledge that. I call you Reverend Alan, because that is what you are, darling. So God bless you. And we've got a couple of newbies on for the first time tonight. We have got someone from from upstate New York. And we've got Pat, who likes her purple hearts. So she's definitely one of us because we like our purple hearts too. So welcome to all of those that are joining us tonight, both for the first time and the frequent times, for I know there are many of you. So now, my friends, we are going to have our healing. Now, Linda, we were talking yesterday about the healing, were we not?
Yes.
So we are going to have that video that I showed you for those that have never done healing with us before. And yes, thank you. Now there is a little bit of noise in the background. I think it's me when I speak on your camera. So while the healing's on, I'm just going to briefly mute you. But the good news is when it's your turn, I won't be speaking, so everything will be fine. And it's the bit in the service that everybody looks forward to when I don't speak. So I'm just going to say nothing on that. So friends, let us all join together as we have our healing silence. It will begin with the healing prayer and will end with the word Amen. And during which there will be a nice little video of candles and music playing to help you get into the mood of healing, love and light. So as we begin sending out our thoughts to all those who are in need, a prayer to begin, which is like a request, an instruction that fills all of the spaces, ticks all of the boxes, and does exactly what it says on the tin. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother God, here we bring unto you all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, be they sick in mind, body, or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them. This we ask for those we know and those we do not know, and those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. Amen. Well, friends, now is the time in our service where we have our demonstration of mediumship by the lovely Linda. So she's now getting herself nice and ready. Now I see from time to time comments in the comments, aptly named, are they not? The way our services work is we bring those who are going to receive a message up onto the screen with the medium. So this is all pre-organized. Now, what we do is throughout the week, you can ask for your name to be put forward for a message. And then the people that are going to get a message are drawn out of the hat in the morning before the service. And we then send you the link to get onto the service with us. If you don't want to be seen, you can turn your video off. But in order for people to get the response, which is as much evidence for people watching as it is the recipient getting that information, we do have people on, and it is pre-organized, and we have a bit of a raffle for it as well, so it's fair. So if you would like a message next week, please do send me a direct message and I will get in touch with you ASAP. But for now, it is over to the lovely Linda Ferguson, who's going to give us a demonstration of mediumship. And I am now going to bring up her first recipient. So give me a wave, Mandy, if you can see me and still hear me. Mandy, are you watching? Can you see me? I can see you watching and blinking, but are you there? Let's bring her up and see how it goes. Can you hear us, Mandy?
Can you hear me, Mandy?
Mandy, your microphone is disconnected, darling. Oh, there you go. Can you hear us, babe?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear us. Have you turned your volume up, my darling? Try turning it volume up. Plus and minus and up.
Can't hear you.
Volume. Turn up. Is your volume up? You've muted yourself. I'll tell you what. Give me a minute. I'm going to go and sort out with Mandy on private message so she can read what I'm saying rather than attempting to lip read. In the meantime, let us bring up your other first recipient. Linda, can you hear me, mother?
I can hear you.
Now, here is our wounded soldier with her cushion and her broken wrist that's going to be pinned. So you can't use that because everyone's seen it anyway. I will leave you both to it and have a wonderful few minutes of spirit contact. God bless you, and I'll see you all soon.
Okay. I want to say, Linda, that I've got a gentleman step forward. He was waiting during the healing, so I feel that he would have known about this way of life. I want to go on father's side, and I'm getting a very paternal feeling, so this could be father or grandfather. Grandfather, if they were quite involved in your life.
Yes.
You understand that? Yes.
Yeah.
You understand that he would have known about this way of life?
Yes.
Or yes, because that's what he stepped forward. He must have known what was going to happen, because at the end of the healing, he stepped forward. He has, of course, been around you. You would expect that, given you're needing the healing at the moment. But you understand there has been a need within around you for another person that is in need of healing, that Spirit are a little concerned about. And I want to, yes. And so I'm now feeling very warm, and he's actually giving me healing. I think he was, you understand the term a natural healer?
Yes.
Without thinking, it just by him being in the presence of someone and not even necessarily in their presence would come forward. Now, he has brought a lady along with him, and I do feel that, would you understand grandmother in spirit then?
Yes.
His wife.
Yeah.
Yes, because at first I wasn't sure if it was sister, but then he made me aware of the connection. But I do want to say that they had a very good relationship.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Because it was a bit like brotherly and sisterly at times, especially as time went by, you know, and they were good friends. He's making a point of that, because I want to say, where there's healing needed, that there may be a bit of friction, may be a bit too strong a word, but some people are like, you understand, they're going past each other within the family. Yeah. And that's what he's trying to smooth the waters there. I do feel he was a peacemaker. He was the one, you know, the pouring oil on troubled waters. He was that sort of a person. And he's talking about a younger one, a younger gentleman as well. I don't mean a child, but would he have I know I obviously know there's Nick, but do you have another son?
I have in spirit.
Yes. Well, that's what, because he's brought him in as well. because it's on that sort of a level, that sort of a generation where there's a bit of emotion being, you know, who's right and who's wrong, I want to say. Does that make you understand that? Yeah. So he's brought in your son then in spirit to, not that he can't equate, but it's just to help a younger one. He's saying the young un help the young uns, is how he's putting it. I do feel that he's in training, your son, as opposed to grandfather. I feel has come through as grandfather, but would you you would understand that that's just how they are, how he was when he was here. He's making me feel that he's quite a and his vibration's very high, your grandfather, and so he's like training others, as it were, developing them in that healing sense. And I do want to say that your son's very much like I call it the scientist, finding the different ways. I feel this is within your family, your own family, that people are quite rational, logical, like to know how things work. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so I call some of my expression for the healers, who I call the scientists, it's like looking for the new ways of working and bringing through in different ways. And together, your son and your grandfather are quite a team. That it's like grandfather, I feel, was very good at expressing things that people could understand. And he's sort of saying they're a bit like this, you know. There are two. Oh, peas in a pod. He's just sort of came, sort of. I got a little pat on the shoulder, as if to say it's like peas in a pod. There's a lot, the character, and there's lots of upliftment they've been trying to give you. It's been a very strange times this year so far, and there's been a lot of emotional turmoil because of people not being able to do what they would normally do. And they have been trying to bring upliftment. And I want to say that your son has been making himself known in a physical way. Do you understand that? That they're within the home. There's been some activity, as it were, you know, that and so he's been trying to uplift you. He's saying that he's telling me that you're not a miserable person anyway. But
I am at the minute.
yeah, but no, he's saying, see, even now you're laughing because you take life as it comes. You take things in your stride, and you take that. That's a trait that comes down the generations, I'm being told to say to you. But he's been whispering something. Have you been aware of like a whisper or a sound?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's him. He's been practicing. He's been practicing, is what he's saying. You work with spirit yourself, do you?
Yes.
In a mediumistic way, yes. Because he's trying to develop that external hearing, the clairaudient. So that's if you're. So he's so pleased that you can actually start to hear that whispering. I want to say that the lady who has been letting the two boys, as it were, talk. She's telling me she's been trying to come to you in dream state. You know, when you're sleeping and sometimes, and it wasn't a dream, it was real. So watch out for, you know, because sometimes we just think it's a dream, that she's been trying to come, and I want to say that she wasn't really, she's not making me feel she was like a hugging, cuddling sort of a person, but she is now. You know, she's been, have you been experiencing what you thought was hot flushes?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's the heat of the love that she's been bringing, she's saying. So it just so that you know it's, that's what it is. They're taking me to the autumn time, October time, as being a significant time for you.
Yes.
Yes. And don't be surprised about if things aren't quite how you expect them to be.
Okay.
I'm asking them if they'll elaborate on that. But I feel that round about the autumn, October, November, is there some sort of a get together, hopefully, or a celebration?
My two children were born in October.
So do you normally have like family birthdays then?
Not
Because
really, no.
no, well perhaps this year, because so it's going to be different. That's what she was saying. I
Okay.
think they're going to make it that it's catching up. There's a lot of catching up, is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's like so
Yeah.
like a family gathering. So that's hopeful that we'll be able to have those sort of gatherings then. Perhaps that's a way of telling us that just to keep there and with all the restrictions. You're not to worry about this. It's going to be fine. You're on. Sorry, I forget that you're not exactly straight in front of me. There's no need to concern. It's going to be sorted.
Thank you.
There's lots of healing coming. It may take a little while, but have you been a bit concerned about you might lose some use or something? They're showing
No,
me that.
I'm more concerned with the problems with my legs at the moment.
Oh right, because this is what she's saying. It's going to be as good as new. This I'm asking about your legs. I'm getting very hot at the moment. You're
They are.
yes,
Yeah.
the heat of their energy, and is that your legs as well getting very hot?
Yes.
Yes, because that's not necessarily a problem. They're saying it's the healing, the healing. They're concerned. Oh, me, sorry. There's so much love coming through between the three of them now. It's a bit overpowering the heat, but I feel that now that they're come through the threesome, that they would talk quite a long time. You know,
Yeah.
they've got lots that they want to, but of course they have to step back.
Yeah.
But it'll all be right by Christmas. I don't know if they were referring to the arm and the leg, but this year you'll be
Lovely.
marching
Thank
through
you.
to the next year. Yes. So take their love, take the energy to keep you warm if you need it on a night like this. But thank you for working with me.
Thank you so much. That was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Linda, and thank you, Mum. Now, I just want to thank you very specifically, Linda, for a couple of things. And those that are watching that know my darling mother, she admitted to having mediumistic abilities and admitted that she could do it for the first time ever. Woo! Thank you very, very much. And I can see quite a few grins underneath that acknowledge that. But it's strange, the little things that happen that people pick up on. There is a word that has come down through the generations of our family that you used from my great grandfather, young'un. The young ones. the younguns. And it's a very, very Fenny thing to say. Of course, we are Fenny. I get accused of being the townie of the family because of my accent not being broad Cambridgeshire Fen, but nonetheless, all of my generations above always referred to the youth as younguns. And it's nice to hear from my brother and what he's up to at all times as well. So thank you for that from me as well. So thank you for coming on, Mummy dear.
Thank you. And don't forget the closing prayer. You forgot the opening one.
I do all the time. Thank you, Mother. Yeah, what would I do without her, you see? She always reminds me.
You can
Bless
put the
her.
money in the letterbox now.
Reverend Lynn, I know you're watching. You are going to get it for that one. God bless you. And God bless you too, Mum. Thank you. And I'll see you for the closing prayer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, Linda, love. Well, we have been playing with technical marvelry in the background. So let's give it another go. Mandy, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. There is a ever
can
so
hear you.
slight delay. But who cares? It's working. I'm going to get out of the way so you two can talk. See you in a bit.
Hi, Mandy. I have got. Oh, excuse me. I have got a lady that's stepping forward, and this isn't me. I want to say there would have been an issue in this area with this lady.
Yeah.
I want to say that there may have been breathing difficulties as well.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And she's telling me that she's not. I feel that she was quite a private person.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's not really telling me a lot about her, just what she wants to say. But but it's what she made me feel, the condition. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say that was her character. It's not me. She'd just like to suss people out, as it were.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And so, but she's been very close to you over the last while, she's saying. But you understand, it's the way that you more on an emotional level to give. Do you? Yes, that makes sense to you. I won't open up as long as you understand that. But she's telling me that you are very much like her.
Yeah.
Yes. And you hide a lot of things. She never really opened up.
No.
And you're the same. No. So, but she now knows that perhaps she could have asked for a bit of more help. You understand that? And she's saying, so it's not a sign of weakness when we think we need to ask somebody to help. But she wants you to know that she's with a gentleman as well. There's a gentleman now stepped forward with her, with this lady. And would you understand this would be this lady's father? you still with me, Mandy? Mandy?
I think Mandy has become disconnected.
I wasn't sure if it was because of what was said or if she'd just become disconnected.
I think she has been dropping on and off all evening, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
I think she's got a very, very slow signal. If you would like to finish your reading for her so she can watch back later,
Yeah.
I will get out of your way. So, or unless you want my head to talk to, I don't mind either way.
I don't mind whichever. It doesn't mind. I don't mind if you stay on there, but
Okay.
I just a gentleman had just stepped forward that I feel was the lady's father. The lady who hasn't told me her connection, but I do feel it's an older generation to Mandy. And then, so I don't know if it's mother and grandfather or grandmother and great grandfather, but he's been working in the background to try and solve the problems that's been bringing you down a bit. The gentleman, yeah, because he's saying that he's been trying to put thoughts into your mind to help you resolve what's troubling you. Yes, he's not opening up because it's not our business, but as long as you know you have the lady who's really supporting you and you have the gentleman who's on the case, as it were, to sort things for you. You understand that, would you understand that you've felt isolated? I mean, I know we've been, but you've actually emotionally felt that. He wants,
Yeah.
he wants, they both want you to know that you have got a lot of company, even though you can't see them. And they're doing their best. You are getting lots, you're getting lots of feelings. And they're saying that once August is out, things will start to improve. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. They're showing me. I'm not sure if there's certain things that actually, when I was chatting with Nick yesterday, we were saying there's certain words that it's difficult for us to say because of how things have changed. But they're showing me a toy, and I think it's a memory link. And we used to collect badges off one of the jams. That you had a toy.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're bringing you back as a memory link for that. Yes, and
Yeah.
and you used to, it's like as you used to cuddle bedtime. They want you to feel the hug you get as you're getting to bed. You know, when you're to bed, you've got arms like that. Yeah, and because you really love that toy, they're saying, and you are really, really loved yourself.
Thank
And you should never doubt it. Right, the gentleman's saying you should never doubt who you are. you are who you are, and don't let anybody say anything else. Okay? They're sending lots and lots of love, and the lady's going, you know, you do a kiss and blow it.
Yeah.
So take their love, Andy. Bless you. Thank you for working with me.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you for coming on, and really, really well done for fighting the good fight. Thank you for coming on, and really, really well done for fighting the good fight. Thank you, darling. She's off. She's off. I'm quietly confident that she got exactly what she needed there. So well done, Linda, and thank you.
Yeah.
Now, friends, we have traditions, we have ritual, and we have ceremony. She is ready. He is ready. We're coming up to the final reading of the evening. For anyone who has commented, give me a direct message. I can get you in the raffle for next week's reading. There's quite a bit of interest, so thank you all for that. Send me a message. We will get you in the raffle for next week. But for now, Hannah, darling, what time is it? Bully's special prize, who has won the final reading. We're about to find out. Are you all right, Hannah?
Good.
And how has your week been, my darling?
Good.
Good, good. You've been keeping Mum out of trouble and mischief?
Yeah.
I can quite believe that. Are you all right, Samantha, darling?
Yes, yeah, we're good, thank you. Yeah.
Good, 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 good. Thank you for coming on as ever. And we will see you at the end for the reading. God bless. Thank you for everything you do, Hannah.
Yeah.
Hannah.
Love you, babe. See you soon. And of course, the winner of Bully's special prize could be yours if you send me a direct message next week. But our winner of Bully's special prize tonight, are you there, Penny?
I am. Hello.
Excellent stuff. Thank you, and I will leave you to.
Hi, Penny.
Hi, Linda.
Oh, I want to say I have two, a lady and a gentleman just stepped in, and they've come in together. So the gentleman has quite a dry sense of humour.
Yes.
Because he's saying, of course, we've come in together, so we are together. But in a very positive way. I think it was to. He's making me sit up straight. So I think this was one of his traits. You know, don't slouch. Sit up straight. And the lady is. I feel that she was the one who usually would speak, but he's doing the introductions, as it were, but they're very. It's almost as if their energies blending together, which it probably is, but they've separated and they came in on either side of me, but now it's as if they're as one. But they're taking me to my ear, so I don't know if that's one of them may have had a problem with the ear or hard of hearing.
That's me.
Oh, that's you.
My dad did have hearing problems, but I've also got as well.
But oh yeah, because they just literally took me to the ear there. So that's just so that well, of course you know that they're aware, but it's just to validate that they are aware. But would you understand then that I now feel like I've got a swishing in my ear? You know, as if I could hear. I don't know. nobody's blowing in my ear, but it's that sort of a sound.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense? There's like a whooshing sound in my ear, and they meaning spirit generally, not generally, but all your loved ones are working on here. Can you see me? On here. There's lots of healing needed this evening. They're actually saying, you won't mind them saying, that everybody who's watching is receiving healing from a loved one. So everybody, even if they're not aware of it, but you are aware of spirit, yes?
Yes.
Yes. And you are, now I know spirit don't think everyone's equal, they think, and there's not an hierarchy, but it's as if, do you understand? They're telling me it's like you've progressed upwards. You've moved up to another level during these last few months, and because you've had the time to sit. I do want to say that your father works with you.
Oh, lovely.
And Mum, but I want to say that your father's he's working on the mental mediumship. He's going like this, and you understand. This is very much a spiritual path reading. I hope you don't mind that, because normally it's it is loved ones telling you, but it's like they're giving you a bit of a steer to how you may continue on that road of progression, because you're not fulfilling, this is Mom, you're not fulfilling your full potential at the moment. And I do feel that's how she would push people, but I don't mean bully, but she would tell people to have higher expectations.
Yes.
Yeah? Does that make sense? And that's what she's telling you. Don't. Do you know about trance?
About who, sorry?
Trance. You know about trance mediumship?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because they're referring to that.
Okay.
Because they're telling me that you've really got into sitting in that power, the connection inside. And also, you need to spread the knowledge that you have. You have to be more. They're not telling me you're shy by any means. You know what I mean? They don't mean that, but you're not you don't like to big yourself up, as it were. People aren't all, you're quite humble. Yeah, that's it. Don't you? But sometimes you shouldn't be humble. You need to let people know the power that's within you.
Okay. Okay.
Of course, they're talking to you as parents, so that they can tell you what to do. Even though they know it's that's sense of humour again. But yes, it is free will. They're just saying that it's not even that it's more you don't even realise it, because you don't expect it for yourself. They're now saying enough of that. They're taking me to the month of July. I know July's just finished, but July there's been a significant. July is significant.
It is very significant.
Yeah. And sorry, it's just I'm getting the validation. It's like I go like this. It's like, yes, you've got that right. So they're lovely. They're making me smile, and I think that's what they would do. If somebody was a bit down, they'd not laugh at them, but they'd laugh with you. You know, like they're not actually malicious, negatively making fun of me, but they're actually uplifting my spirit. Their energy is so light yet so powerful, because light doesn't necessarily mean lacking power. They're really pleased how you're actually smiling properly, because it's been a bit hard to keep that smile on your face in the recent past. But they're glad that you're actually starting to relax, and that smile. Of course, they have to speak to everybody who's in the room with you, and and you're good at thanking the gentleman for being such a good support for you.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're really saying thank you, because there's been times when you've really needed it. They're not opening up your business, but there's been times when you've really needed that rock, and that's what the lady's calling your rock. And
Yes.
and together, that what they were saying about yourself, that it applies to both of you together, because your energy, you should always work together. Does that make sense? I don't know if you do. But
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense.
yeah, but you have to really.
To trance.
Yeah. Oh, right. So, but yeah, that energy is really going to surprise you in a very positive way. Now, are you the writer, or is it Alan? Who channels the words, the writing? Just get back to it. Get back to it.
Okay.
They're not calling you neglectful, really, but if you can just take 10 minutes each day in a journal, that they'll be able to give guidance in short sentences. You know, you don't always have to, a bit like the poem, you don't always have to, this is the gentleman sort of, I think he's giving me a bit of it as well, but it doesn't always have to be a long script.
No, that's right.
It's like, you know, the thought for the day type of thing that you can just say to people in language, people who don't even realise that spirit's about, but you'll know who to say it to when you're out and about. Alan, would you understand a gentleman in spirit, grandfather? Sorry, somebody's coming for Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grandfather in spirit, who works with you. You know that there's a gentleman who works with you. That's one of your. Yes. Yeah. He just wants me to. Can you see me?
Yeah.
I'm trying to put my thumb up, but I can't see if you can see it. Yeah, he's saying like this, double thumbs up, because you've not given in. He's not telling me what that's about, but you understand. Thumbs up for
I do understand.
Yeah, and
I'm going to have to go. Penny, can you take this reading? I've just got a visitor. I'm going to have to go.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Yes. It just because they didn't want to leave. The gentleman is fine, but the lady is actually. She's telling me that you should think about the colours that you're wearing. I don't know if you work with colours, but it's like it can influence. It can influence how we feel, what we wear.
Yeah.
And at the moment, they're giving me a bright orange scarf to give you. She's giving you a bright orange scarf. That so I feel she means orange. Just to. Okay, she's it's what she's described. She's showing me in my head like a sea, and there's the sun half of a sun in the horizon, and it's an orange sun.
Oh, no.
And what she's saying, sunrise and sunset, you can't tell the difference if you're just showing the picture.
Yeah.
And that's how she's saying you are. It's, you never change. And she's saying this in a loving way. You always are the same with how you treat people. And she's making me feel that you accept people for who they are. You don't judge. And she's saying that's not that common a trait. The new year is going to be significant. I think she means next year. No, she's corrected me. In January, because normally I don't like to do specific, but you understand it's not fortune. But it's like the whole thing will be like a brand new journey starting over again on your spiritual path.
That's lovely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, they haven't given me sweets to give out for a long while, but I do have to give you a box of Maltesers.
One of my favourite.
All right, and you don't have to share them, she says. You can keep them.
Good job Al's not around to hear that.
Okay, so take their love.
Thank you.
So bless you for working with me, and bless you for having such lovely energy step forward. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well done, Linda. And it's very appropriate that Alan should be made to disappear when you talk about Maltesers. I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing.
Not to go there, Nick.
But chocolate does tend to mysteriously and magically disappear when Alan is around. I've experienced and witnessed this myself. You're right then, Penny, my love.
Thank you. That was lovely. Just what I needed. Thank you.
Funny that. Isn't it wonderful how spirit works?
It is. It's wonderful.
God bless you, my love. I'll see you for the closing prayer.
You will.
Well done, Linda. What a wonderful demonstration. And, you know, it's lovely to not only see some great evidence flowing through, but so many people who are watching for the first time making so lovely comments and asking so much for a reading. That's always a very good sign. So, Linda, thank you from all of us for a wonderful evening.
Thank you for asking me, Nick.
You're very, very welcome. Now, I'm sure she will have a word or three to say. So, Reverend Lynn, are you there? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello again. Yes, that was lovely, Linda. And I know that there are so many people enjoying that feeling of being in contact with that spiritual world, because it's just like, as we were saying, you know, about all this technical stuff, you know, the internet, television, radio. We don't have to know how it works. It's just that it does. You know, we turn it on and you know, we see these wonderful images, people like yourself, Linda, Reverend Nick, you know, all there in their front rooms, wherever we are, even if we're in our bed or whatever, there you are. And we don't have to know how it's done, just that it is being done. And I think there's something that we ought to take from the teachings of the New Testament, where Jesus tells us to be like children. And I think what he was trying to say was to try and just accept the good things in life. Accept it. Don't worry about how and what and why and where. But, you know, when you actually have that wonderful contact and communication with the world of spirit, it doesn't matter how you do it or why or what or wherever it is. The fact is that it is actually happening, and you prove it because You are the medium this evening. It was chosen. You know, you might have said, why me? Here you were, and you've been the linchpin of the service, because we rely on our mediums to show people that what we're talking about is the truth, and it is a fact of life, that you don't need to follow any particular pathway, you don't need to have any scientific knowledge about anything, you don't need to know the hows and whys and wherefores of everything. You just need to be able to just turn on, tune in, and receive all those wonderful communications from spirit that prove to you that your loved ones live on after they've gone from here, and that they can communicate back with us. And I think that's a wonderful thing to be able to do. And it doesn't matter how it's done. We can just be like children and just delight in that communication, and knowing that spirits are all around us, and just as they are, what we need to explain to people, it's just that they are around for those people that you gave messages to directly. They're around for everybody who's watching and everybody who's joining in at whatever time and place they do that. Their loved ones are still caring for them and looking in on them from time to time, and able to prove it through good mediumship, genuine mediumship, like your own, Linda. So thank you very much for that. And I would like to say to people that I'm sure that everybody feels a lot better, even if they don't know how it worked. How does that work? You know, well, yes, there are books on healing, and don't forget the Spiritualist Handbook written by me, which is available, compiled and published by Reverend Nick Brown, which gives you an idea of how healing actually works, and how all this lark works. But even without that, you can feel better, because I know that you've all been touched by spirit while you've been watching this. And as Linda has worked away there, she's channeled spirit through, and all those wonderful people over in the world of spirit who all connect with everybody that's been tuning in, they're all there, and that's why you feel better now. So I guarantee that everybody feels better for having tuned into this and having listened to you, Linda. So God bless you, your guides and helpers, all the wonderful people that have been around. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sorry.
And thank you, Lynn. And I completely agree with you, and everyone in the comments is as well. So, you know, absolutely spot on. Also a comment there from Sandra, a good plug for the book, which I do thoroughly recommend. But I think one of the things that I find brilliant is that Spirit always give the opportunity for those that are absolutely in need to get. And we've been talking a lot about prayers over the last few weeks, and
the ones that have been missed.
Yes,
the ones who have missed.
Yes,
absolutely. And I feel quite actually ashamed of myself, because I'm currently writing for and on behalf of the New Spiritualist Society the Little Green Prayer Book, which is an explanation about prayers and such things. But I know that prayers are answered, and as the old saying goes, ask and you shall receive. So to all those that have been asking for a reading tonight, I will put you in the list and you shall receive, and I know Spirit will look after you and make sure you get what you want. But until next time, let's everyone come back on screen for the closing prayer. I would just like to add, in case you didn't see the message, Linda, Mandy has sent a message on the comments to say that she did have to come off for personal reasons, a little bit emotional, but thank you very much. And as I said at the time, I am more than quietly confident that you gave her from Spirit exactly what she needed to hear. So well done, mate. And let's get everybody back on. Hello, are you all there? There we are. Oh, we've got some noises, so I'm going to mute everyone. There we go. So just briefly muted everyone as we all join together, as my mother would tell me and remind me that it is time for our closing prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love and hope and friendship. I ask that a blessing be placed on each person here present and those that will watch in the future. and all the families and friends that they represent, that your light and your love and that greatest power of unconditional love can reach out like a web and touch every heart. And so, Great Spirit, until we meet again, may we continue to do as ever everything that we do, which will be in the name of love, in the name of truth, and in the name of light. Amen. Well, I'm just going to clear the screen a moment. Don't feel bad that I'm just dropping people off left, right, and centre, because I want to say a proper thank you and goodbye to our wonderful medium for this evening. Linda, thank you so much for a great demo. And I know that many people are still commenting away, so have a look afterwards. A little bit of business as well. If anyone is a fan of Wonderful Creatures, now I haven't been able to upload them, which I'm really disappointed about. I might add them into the video. Linda is very supportive of would you call it an owl sanctuary?
The Blue Owl Sanctuary.
The Blue Owl Sanctuary.
No, Blue, B-O-O, Boo.
Boo. Oh, Boo. As in a ghost. Fabulous. The Boo Owl Sanctuary. So check it out. We'll find a link for it and post it later on. A really great. I was speaking to Linda all about it yesterday. And it's just such a wonderful thing that those guys are doing, especially in lockdown. So do check it out, and I will post the pictures that you shared to me yesterday later on. Might even add them into our title sequence for a bit of variety.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, there is a few notices, I think. We will be back, of course, next week at 7:40. Thank you to Kaz for being my keeper of facts and information in the comments. I've seen you doing some great work there, so thank you, darling. Now, if you're interested in hearing more about Christian spiritualism, about the New Christian Spiritualist Society, Reverend Lynn does have her own page, and she does do frequent and regular videos. So ignore daily updates when it comes up on the title sequence. I haven't changed it yet, but it is frequent and regular, as is our Reverend Lynn on her spot on the dial. Also, speaking of other ministers and reverends, Reverend Alan Acton, he regularly comes on and twists the ear of all that would listen. Up in the north, we are represented very well in the north. We've got Pastures Green Christian Spiritualist Church. They are very busy, and they have a service every Wednesday night in this same format. Look out for them. Tony Swindles, who works very hard for that particular group and does the techie bit like I do. He's on and off the screen, left, right, and centre. And I do see a name going up in the list there. A lovely lady of mine. She runs an independent Christian Spiritualist church down in Weymouth, and they do wonderful demonstrations of philosophy on Sunday nights, and that is the Light Weymouth Spiritualist Church. They are a lovely group. I've served them, and maybe I'll get invited back for advertising them. You never know. But until next week, thank you all for joining us. Now is the time in our service when we say that the kitchen is now open. So go grab yourself a cup of tea. Hang on. In fact, here it is. Traditions aside, it's now time for one of those, a cup of tea. So thank you to Mother and Father for advertising that the kitchen is now open. And there's Ashley Oliver. Follow her to see what's going on in Weymouth. She's just commented. Here we are. This lovely lady here. Go and have a look at them on a Sunday as well. It worked. I've got another. I'm going back to see him. Good. Hey, wonderful. But in the meantime, really seriously, Linda, thank you so much for a really great demonstration of mediumship. We will see you soon, I am sure. And we look forward to having you back in the hall with all of your lovely little bits and pieces that we always look forward to as well. And if you want to know that is, you're going to have to tune in some more to see it next time. Because for now, good night, God bless, and may the peace of the Great Spirit go with you all. See you soon, my friends. God bless.